choked up and dry, and boughs long stripped by the wind.
And I call to the mind's eye, pallor of an ivory face, its lofty dissolute air, a man climbing up to a place the soul-sea wind has swept bare. What were his life soon done? Would he lose by that or win?
A mother that saw her son doubled over a speckled shin, cross-grained with 90 years, would cry,
how little worth were all my hopes and fears, and the hard pain of his birth.
the boughs of the hazel shake,
the sun goes down in the west.
the heart would be always awake.
The heart would turn to its rest.
Night falls. The mountainside grows dark. The withered leaves of the hazel half choke the dry bed of the well. The guardian of the well is sitting upon the old grey stone at its side, worn out from raking its dry bed, worn out from gathering up the leaves. Her heavy eyes know nothing, or but look upon stone. The wind that blows out of the sea turns over the heaped up leaves at her side. They rustle and diminish.
I am afraid of this place.
Why should I sleep? The heart cries. For the wind, the salt wind, the sea wind.
Is knitting a cloud through the skies. I would wander always like the wind.
That old man climbs up hither, who has been watching by his well these 50 years. He is all doubled up with age. The old thorn trees are doubled so among the rocks where he is climbing. He has made a little heap of leaves. He lays the dry sticks on the leaves, and shivering with cold, he has taken up the fire stick and socket from its hole. He whirls it round to get a flame, and now the dry sticks take the fire, and now the fire leaps up and shines upon the hazels and the empty well. O wine, O salt wine, O sea wine,
Rise the heart, it is time to sleep. Why wander and nothing to find? Better grow old and sleep.
Why don't you speak to me? Why don't you say, are you not weary gathering those sticks? Are not your fingers cold? You have not one word. While yesterday you spoke 3 times. You said, the well is full of hazel leaves. You said, the wind is from the west. And after that, If there is rain, it's likely there'll be mud. Today you are as stupid as a fish. No, worse. Worse, being less lively and as dumb. Your eyes are dazed and heavy. If the she must have a guardian to clean out the well and drive the cattle off, they might choose somebody that can be pleasant and companionable once in the day. Why do you stare like that? You had that glassy look about the eyes last time it happened. Do you know anything? It is enough to drive an old man crazy to look all day upon these broken rocks and ragged thorns and that one stupid face and speak and get no answer.
Then speak to me, for youth is not more patient than old age, and though I have trod the rocks for half a day, I cannot find what I am looking for.
Who speaks? Who comes so suddenly into this place where nothing thrives? If I may judge by the gold on head and feet and glittering in your coat, you are not of those who hate the living world.
I am named Cuchulainn. I am Sultan's son.
I have never heard that name.
It is not unknown. I have an ancient house beyond the sea.
What mischief brings you hither? You are like those who are crazy for the shedding of men's blood and for the love of women.
A rumor has led me. A story told over the wine towards dawn. I rose from table, found a boat, spread sail, and with a lucky wind under the sail, crossed waves that have seemed charmed, and found this shore.
There is no house to sack among these hills, nor beautiful woman to be carried off.
You should be native here, for that rough tongue matches the barbarous spot. You can, it may be, lead me to what I seek, a well wherein 3 hazels drop their nuts and withered leaves, and where a solitary girl keeps watch among grey boulders. He who drinks, they say, of that miraculous water lives forever.
And are there not before your eyes at the instant grey boulders and a solitary girl and 3 stripped hazels?
But there is no well.
Can you see nothing yonder?
I but see a hollow among stones, half full of leaves.
And do you think so great a gift is found by no more toil than spreading out a sail and climbing a steep hill? Oh, folly of youth! Why should that hollow place fill up for you that will not fill for me? I have lain in wait for more than 50 years to find it empty. But to find the stupid wind of the sea drive round the perishable leaves.
So it seems there is some moment when the water fills it.
A secret moment that the holy shades that dance upon the desolate mountain know, and not a living man. And when it comes, the water has scarce splashed before it is gone.
I will stand here and wait. Why should the luck of Sultan's son desert him now? For never have I longed to wait for anything.
No, go from this accursed place. This place belongs to me. That girl there and those others, deceivers of men.
And who are you who rail upon those dancers that all others bless?
One whom the dancers cheat. I came like you, when young in body and in mind, and blown by what it seemed to me a lucky sail. The well was dry. I sat upon its edge. I waited the miraculous flood. I waited, while the years passed and withered me away. I have snared the birds for food and eaten grass and drunk the rain, and neither in dark nor shine wandered too far away to have heard the plash. And yet the dancers have deceived me. Thrice I have awakened from a sudden sleep to find the stones were wet.
My luck is strong. It will not leave me waiting, nor will they that dance among the stones put me asleep. If I grow drowsy, I can pierce my foot.
No, do not pierce it, for the foot is tender. It feels pain much. But find your sail again and leave the well to me, for it belongs to all that's old and withered.
No, I stay. There is that bird again.
There is no bird.
It sounded like the sudden cry of a hawk, but there's no wing in sight. As I came hither, a great grey hawk swept down out of the sky. And though I have good hawks, the best in the world I had fancied, I have not seen its like. It flew as though it would have torn me with its beak or blinded me, smiting with that great wing. I had to draw my sword to drive it off. And after that it flew from rock to rock. I pelted it with stones a good half hour. And just before I had turned the big rock there and seen this place, it seemed to vanish away. Could I but find a means to bring it down, I'd hood it.
The woman of the she herself, the mountain witch, the unappeasable shadow. She is always flitting upon this mountainside to allure or to destroy. When she has shown herself to the fierce women of the hills, under that shape they offer sacrifice and arm for battle. There falls a curse on all who have gazed on her unmoistened eyes. So get you gone while you have that proud step and confident voice, for not a man alive has so much luck that he can play with it. Those that have long to live should fear her most. The old are cursed already. That curse may be never to win a woman's love and keep it, or always to mix hatred in the love, or it may be that she will kill your children, that you will find them, their throats torn and bloody, or you will be so maddened that you kill them with your own hand.
Have you been set down there to threaten all who come and scare them off? You seem as dried up as the leaves and sticks, as though you had no part in life. That cry! There is that cry again! That woman made it! But why does she cry out as the hawk cries?
It was her mouth, and yet not she that cried. It was that shadow cried behind her mouth. And now I know why she has been so stupid all the day through and had such heavy eyes. Look at her shivering now. The terrible life is slipping through her veins. She is possessed. Who knows whom she will murder or betray before she awakes in ignorance of it all and gathers up the leaves? But they'll be wet. The water will have come and gone again. That shivering is the sign. Oh, get you gone. At any moment now I shall hear it bubble. If you are good, you will leave it. I am old, and if I do not drink it now, will never. I have been watching all my life, and maybe only a little cupful will bubble up.
I'll take it in my hands. We shall both drink. And even if there are but a few drops, share them.
But swear that I may drink the first. The young are greedy, and if you drink the first, you'll drink it all. You have looked at her. She has felt your gaze and turned her eyes on us. I cannot bear her eyes. They are not of this world, nor moist, nor faltering. They are no girl's eyes.
Why do you fix those eyes of a hawk upon me? I am not afraid of you, bird, woman, or witch. Do what you will. I shall not leave this place till I have grown immortal like yourself.
Oh God, protect me from a horrible, deathless body sliding through the veins of a sudden. And madness has laid hold upon him now, for he grows pale and staggers to his feet.
Run where you will, grey bird, you shall be perched upon my wrist. Some were called queens and yet have been perched there.
I have heard water plash. It comes. Look where it glitters. He has heard the plash. Look, he has turned his head. He has lost what may not be found.
Till men heap his burial mound.
And all the history ends.
He might have lived at his ease, an old dog's head on his knees,
Among his children and friends.
The accursed shadows have deluded me. The stones are dark, and yet the well is empty. The water flowed and emptied while I slept. You have deluded me my whole life through. Accursed dancers, you have stolen my life. That there should be such evil in a shadow.
She has fled from me and hidden in the rocks.
She has but led you from the fountain. Look, those stones and leaves are dark where it has flowed. There's not a drop to drink.
Eva, Eva, Eva.
What are those cries? What is that sound that runs along the hill? Who are they that beat a sword upon his shield?
She has roused up the fierce women of the hills, Aoife and all her troop, to take your life. And never till you are lying in the earth can you now rest.
The clash of arms again.
Oh, do not go. The mountain is accursed. Stay with me. I have nothing more to lose. I do not now deceive you.
I will face them. He comes! Cuchulainn, son of Sualtem, comes!
Come to me, human faces, familiar memories. I have found hateful eyes among the desolate places, unfaltering, unmoistened eyes.
Folly alone I cherish, I choose it for my share. Being but a mouthful of air, I am content to perish. I am but a mouthful of sweet air. Oh, lamentable shadows, obscurity of strife, I choose a pleasant life among indolent meadows. Wisdom must live a bitter life.
The man that I praise cries out the empty well, lives all his days where a hand on the bell can call the milch cows to the comfortable door of his house.
Who but an idiot would praise dry stones in a well?
The man that I praise cries out the leafless tree, has married and stays by an old hearth, and he on naught has set store but children and dogs on the floor. Oh, but an idiot would praise a withered tree. Why does my heart beat so? Did not a shadow pass? It passed but a moment ago. Who can have trod in the grass? What rogue is night wandering? Have not old writers said that dizzy dreams can spring from the dry bones of the dead? And many a night it seems that all the valley fills with those fantastic dreams. They overflow the hills, so passionate is a shade, like wine that fills to the top a gray-green cup of jade, or maybe an agate cup.
The hour before dawn, and the moon covered up. The little village of Abbey is covered up. The little narrow trodden way that runs from the white road to the Abbey of Kirkham Row is covered up. And all about, the hills are like a circle of agate or of jade. Somewhere among great rocks on the scarce grass, birds cry. They cry their loneliness. Even the sunlight can be lonely here. Even hot noon is lonely. I hear a footfall. A young man with a lantern comes this way. He seems a Narran fisher, for he wears the flannel bawneen and the cowhide shoe. He stumbles wearily, and stumbling prays. Once more the birds cry in their loneliness, but now they wheel about our heads, and now they have dropped on the grey stone to the northeast.
Who is there? I cannot see what you are like. Come to the light.
But what have you to fear?
And why have you come creeping through the dark? The wind has blown my lantern out. Where are you? I saw a pair of heads against the sky and lost them after. But you are in the right. I should not be afraid in County Clare, and should be or should not be, have no choice. I have to put myself into your hands, now that my candle's out.
You have fought in Dublin?
I was in the post office, and if taken, I shall be put against a wall and shot.
You know some place of refuge? Have some plan or friend who will come to meet you?
I am to lie at daybreak on the mountain and keep watch until an Aaron coracle puts in at Muckinish or at the rocky shore under Finvarra, but would break my neck if I went stumbling there alone in the dark.
We know the pathways that the sheep tread out, and all the hiding places of the hills, and that they had better hiding places once.
You'd say they had better before English robbers cut down the trees or set them up on fire, for fear their owners might find shelter there. What is that sound?
An old horse gone astray. He has been wandering on the road all night.
I took him for a man and horse. Police are out upon the roads. In the late rising, I think there was no man of us but hated to fire at soldiers who but did their duty and were not of our race. But when a man is born in Ireland and of Irish stock, when he takes part against
I will put you safe. No living man shall set his eyes upon you. I will not answer for the dead.
The dead?
For certain days, the stones where you must lie have in the hour before the break of day been haunted.
But I was not born at midnight.
Many a man that was born in the full daylight can see them plain, will pass them on the high road or in the crowded marketplace of the town, and never know that they have passed.
My grandam would have it they did penance everywhere. Some lived through their old lives again.
In a dream. And some, for an old scruple, must hang spitted upon the swaying tops of lofty trees. Some are consumed in fire, some withered up by hail and sleet out of the wintry north, and some but live through their old lives again.
Well, let them dream into what shape they please, and fill waste mountains with the invisible tumult of the fantastic conscience. I have no dread. They cannot put me into jail or shoot me. And seeing that their blood has returned to fields that have grown red from drinking blood like mine, they would not, if they could, betray.
This pathway runs to the ruined abbey of Kirkham Row. The abbey past, we are soon among the stone, and shall be at the ridge before the cocks of Ohanish or Boilevelahan or Greyot Manor shake their wings and cry.
They've passed the shallow well, and the flat stone fouled by the drinking cattle, the narrow lane where mourners for 5 centuries have carried noble or peasant to his burial. An owl is crying out above their heads. Why should the heart take fright? What sets it beating so? The bitter sweetness of the night has made it but a lonely thing.
Red bird of March, begin to crow.
Up with the neck and clap the wing, red cock and crow. And now they have climbed through the long grassy field and past the ragged thorn trees and the gap in the ancient hedge. And the tomb-nested owl at the foot's level beats with a vague wing. My head is in a cloud, I'd let the whole world go. My rascal heart is proud, remembering and remembering.
Red bird of March, begin to crow.
Up with the neck and clap the wing, red cock and crow. There among the stones above the ash, above the briar and thorn and the scarce grass, hidden amid the shadow far below them, the cat-headed bird is crying out. The dreaming bones cry out because the night winds blow and heaven's a cloudy blot. Calamity can have its fling.
Redbird march, begin to crow.
Up with the neck and clap the wing, red cock and crow.
We are almost at the summit and can rest. The road is a faint shadow there, and there the abbey lies amid its broken tombs. In the old days we should have heard a bell calling the monks before day broke to pray, and when the day had broken on the ridge, the crowing of its cocks.
Is there no house famous for sanctity or architectural beauty in Clare or Kerry, or in all White Connaught the enemy has not unroofed?
Close to the altar, broken by wind and frost and worn by time, Donogh O'Brien has a tomb, a name in Latin. He wore fine clothes and knew the secrets of women, but he rebelled against the King of Thomond and died in his youth.
And why should he rebel? The King of Thomond was his rightful master. It was men like Donogh who made Ireland weak. My curse on all that troop. And when I die, I leave my body, if I have any choice, far from his ivy, Todd, and his owl. Have those who, if your tale is true, work out a penance upon the mountain top where I am to hide, come from the abbey graveyard?
They have not that luck, but are more lonely. Those that are buried there ward in the heat of the blood. If they were rebels, some momentary impulse made them rebels, or the commandment of some petty king who hated Thomond. Being but common sinners, no callers in of the alien from oversea, they and their enemies of Thomond's party mix in a brief dream battle above their bones, or make one drove, or drift in amity, or in the hurry of the heavenly round forget their earthly names. These are alone, being accursed.
But if what seems is true, and there are more upon the other side than on this side of death, many a ghost must meet them face to face and pass the word even upon this grey and desolate hill.
Until this hour no ghost or living man has spoken. Those 7 centuries have run since they, weary of life and of men's eyes, flung down their bones in some forgotten place, being accursed.
I have heard that there are souls who, having sinned after a monstrous fashion, take on them, being dead, a monstrous image to drive the living, should they meet his face, crazy, and be a terror to the dead.
But these were comely, even in their middle life, and carry now that they are dead the image of their first youth. For it was in that youth their sin began.
I have heard of angry ghosts who wander in a wilful solitude.
These have no thought but love, nor any joy but that upon the instant when their penance draws to its height, and when 2 hearts are wrung nearest to breaking, if hearts of shadows break, his eyes can mix with hers, nor any pang that is so bitter as that double glance, being accursed.
But what is this strange penance, that when their eyes have met can wring them most?
Though eyes can meet, their lips can never meet.
And yet it seems they wander side by side. But doubtless you would say that when lips meet and have not living nerves, it is no meeting.
Although they have no blood or living nerves, who once lay warm and live the livelong night in one another's arms, and know their part in life, being now but of the people of dreams, is a dream's part. Although they are but shadows, hovering between a thorn tree and a stone, who have heaped up night on winged night, although no shade, however harried and consumed, would change his own calamity for theirs, their manner of life, for blessed could their lips a moment meet. But when he has bent his head close to her head, or hand would slip in hand, the memory of their crime flows up between and drives them apart.
The memory of a crime? He took her from a husband's house, it may be, But does the penance for a passionate sin last for so many centuries?
No, no. The man she chose, the man she was chosen by, cared little and cares little from whose house they fled towards dawn amid the flights of arrows, or that it was a husband's and a king's. And how, if that were all, could she lack friends on crowded roads or on the unpeopled hill? Helen herself had opened wide the door, where night by night she dreams herself awake and gathers to her breast a dreaming man.
What crime can stay so in the memory? What crime can keep apart the lips of lovers wandering and alone?
Her king and lover was overthrown in battle by her husband, and for her sake, and for his own, being blind and bitter and bitterly in love, he brought a foreign army from across the sea.
You speak of Diarmuid and Dervorgilla, who brought the Norman in.
Yes, yes, I spoke of that most miserable, most accursed pair who sold their country into slavery. And yet they were not wholly miserable and accursed. If somebody of their race at last would say, I have forgiven them.
Oh, never, never shall Diarmuid and Dervorgilla be forgiven.
If someone of their race forgave at last, lip would be pressed on lip.
Oh, never, never shall Diarmuid and Dervorgilla be forgiven. You have told your story well. So well, indeed, I could not help but fall into the mood and for a while believe that it was true, or half believe. But better push on now. The horizon to the east is growing bright. So, here we're on the summit. I can see the Aran Islands, Connemara Hills, and Galway in the breaking light. There, too, the enemy has toppled roof and gable and torn the panelling from ancient rooms. What generations of old men had known like their own hands, and children wondered at, has boiled a trooper's porridge. That town had lain, but for the pair that you would have me pardon, amid its gables and its battlements, like any old admired Italian town. For though we have neither coal nor iron ore to make us wealthy and corrupt the air, our country, if that crime were uncommitted, had been most beautiful. Why do you dance? Why do you gaze, and with so passionate eyes, one on the other, and then turn away, covering your eyes, and weave it in a dance? Who are you? What are you? You are not natural.
700 years our lips have never met.
Why do you look so strangely at one another? So strangely and so sweetly.
700 years.
So strangely and so sweetly. All the ruin, all their handiwork is blown away, as though the mountain air had blown it away, because their eyes have met. They cannot hear, being folded up and hidden in their dance. The dance is changing now. They have dropped their eyes. They have covered up their eyes, as though their hearts had suddenly been broken. Never, never shall Diarmuid and Dervorgilla be forgiven. They have drifted in the dance from rock to rock. They have raised their hands as though to snatch the sleep that lingers always in the abyss of the sky, though they can never reach it. A cloud floats up and covers all the mountain head in a moment, and now it lifts, and they are swept away. I had almost yielded and forgiven it all. Terrible the temptation and the place.
At the grey round of the hill, music of a lost kingdom runs, runs, and is suddenly still. The winds out of Clare Galway carry it. Suddenly it is still. I have heard in the night air a wandering airy music, and mitered in that snare a man is lost of a sudden in that sweet wandering snare. What finger first began music of a lost kingdom? They dream that laughed in the sun, dry bones that dream are bitter. They dream and darken our sun. Those crazy fingers play a wandering airy music. Our luck is withered away, and wheat in the wheat ear withered, and the wind blows it away. My heart ran wild when it heard the curlew cry before dawn, and the eddying cat-headed bird. But now the night is gone, I have heard from far below the strong March birds a crow, stretch neck and clap the wing, red cocks and crows.